What is up, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global back here with another video, and in this one we have some very good news as the New England Patriots have re-signed free agent safety Devin McCourty. Now, the terms of this contract is already out. It's a 2-year deal worth about $23 million. Obviously, that's a pretty big bulk of money, but when you look at the market for safeties, the Patriots are getting a pretty dang good deal, especially for one of the best safeties in the league. Now, the announcement was actually made by Devin McCourty himself when he was on the Double Coverage podcast with his twin brother Jason McCourty, whose option actually got picked up last week in order to return to the Patriots in 2020. One of the big things that stands out to me is the fact that it's a 2-year deal. Now, to a lot of people, some might feel that that's not long enough. Some might be like, dude, it's just a 2-year deal. But to me, something to remember is that for the past 2 offseasons straight, Devin McCourty has been considering retirement. Each offseason, it seems to get a little bit more real to him and figuring out, okay, am I going to retire or am I not? And a lot of people fully felt like Devin McCourty was actually going to retire this offseason. Now, McCourty definitely could still retire next season if he still wanted to, but I think the Patriots are smarter than that. I think they really sat down and talked with McCourty. So to me, I fully expect Devin McCourty to at least play out this contract. This 2-year contract very well could be enough for Devin McCourty to finish out his career with the Patriots. When the deal was being made, when we heard that the Patriots were heavily trying to re-sign him, the biggest thing about that was the fact that the New England Patriots want to have him signed to finish his career in New England. So as long as he doesn't suffer any drastic injury during the season, I fully expect Devin McCourty to play at least 2 more seasons. But what I will tell you guys is that really be happy watching Devin McCourty for the next couple of years, because it's definitely coming to an end. 2 years very, very well could be the last that we actually see of him in his career in the NFL. McCourty is one of the most important veterans on the Patriots team, one of the most important players on the team in general. He's a great player both on and off the field. Each week, in and out, when you hear the, pre-game pep talks and speeches, it's Devin McCourty. Devin McCourty really gets the fans pumped up. He gets the defense pumped up. And I can't describe it enough to tell you that Devin McCourty is one of the most important positions or players for the Patriots in general, not just because of how vital he is and how outstanding he plays on the field, especially at a high level at the age that he is, but for the fact that he keeps the mentality straight for everybody in that locker room and is just a tremendous leader for the younger guys on the field. It seems like Devin McCourty has also really picked things up as a player on the field the past couple of seasons. This past season, he had an interception for, 5 games straight? Was one of the top players in the NFL in interceptions, and is one of the highest graded safeties and secondary players in all of the NFL this past season. This past season, he appeared in all 16 games in which he ranked a total of 5 interceptions with 2 passes defended and total of 0 sacks. The big thing here is that it's being reported that he's set to make at least $14 million in the 2 years of those contracts. So that's going to be a lot of money against the Patriots. Let's keep in mind that the Patriots also signed Matthew Slater. Small deal, they signed him also to a 2-year deal worth about $5 million, so it's nothing too major, especially compared to Devin McCourty's contract, but it still does take away some of the cap. Now, putting in that $13 million of Tom Brady's contract that kind of rolled over from, I believe, last season, the Patriots will sit about 20-some mil with that number of Tom Brady's contract being placed in. Then you put in the fact of Devin McCourty's contract, Matthew Slater's, and the tagging of Jermaine Illuminor, and the Patriots sit at a very needed part of the offseason, and that is needing money. We don't know the exact number at this current time. Things still need to be calculated, but the Patriots' number in available cap space to make more moves is quickly running out, and free agency hasn't actually started yet. The great thing about Devin McCourty is that he's been around the league for so long. He's such a high-quality veteran that he knows exactly what to expect in the NFL. Okay? You can't play a trick on Devin McCourty, especially because when you look at the league, These quarterbacks are getting younger and younger and younger. Not many teams truly have veteran NFL quarterbacks at this time, so it's really hard to trick a guy like Devin McCourty into making mistakes when he's been around the league for how long? It, of course, is also a great move in the sense that ever since Jason McCourty has come back to the Patriots, or joined the Patriots, I should say, ironically, Devin McCourty has, again, stepped things up. Like I said earlier in this video, the past 2 seasons, I feel like we have just seen a rise in production from Devin McCourty. He's always been great, but the past 2 seasons, it's like something has clicked. And ironically, the past 2 seasons, his brother has been a part of the Patriots defense also. The Patriots secondary has been stellar the past 2 seasons, and Devin McCourty has played a very big part of that, and luckily he is coming back, and it looks like the Patriots will have essentially the exact same secondary that they had last season, which was one of the best in the NFL. Now, although we did sign him, although this is very big for the Patriots, I definitely believe that Bill Belichick needs to look into drafting a younger safety, okay? Maybe at this point, it's not as important as it was if we didn't get Devin McCourty. But when you look at the safety position that the Patriots have, Patrick Chung, he's kind of become a shell of himself. He's really degressed, especially last season. He's getting older. Devin McCourty, of course, he's going to be 33 by the time next season starts. 2 years under his contract, he's probably going to retire after that. And then you have Duron Harmon too. Okay, he's getting older, and he has never played a piece like Devin McCourty or Patrick Chung has. He's more of a rotational piece rather than a full-on starting piece. Although the Patriots did sign Devin McCourty, although they still have Patrick Chung, they still have Duron Harmon, they still have Terrence Brooks, I think it would be a great move to bring in a young safety, a guy that you're building for the future, someone who you can kind of bring in but not have to rely on to do all the heavy and the dirty work, the bulk of the work in their first year. They can kind of sit in, come in a rotational piece, can learn from these veterans, but at the same time, the Patriots will have a very young, hopefully productive safety that they just drafted. In the end, though, the Patriots re-sign one of the most important pending free agents that they have. How are you guys feeling about this move? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section below. Like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.